Planning your destination wedding and not sure if you need a big resort or a small resort? Let's talk about that. Hey, this is Jack with Vacationese. So when you're planning your wedding, there are a lot of resort options to work with your travel planner if you're going to do it on your own. But there are big resorts and there are small resorts. When I say big, there are resorts that are now 3,000 rooms. And when I say small, there are boutique resorts in most of the places. Some of them are 30 rooms, 40, 80, 100. So it's really hard to make the choice because they're all quality, but it's what is the perfect resort for you? So let's talk about the first thing is how you can figure out big versus small. I think step one is how big is your wedding going to be? Number of guests that you're inviting that you expect to attend. If you're going to, have 50, 60, 100, 200, 300 guests, you probably need a big resort. Why? Because the locations that you need for your wedding events need to be able to accommodate the size of your group. And this is very important. If you have 100 people or more, I think that to me qualifies as a big wedding. Now, the issue I find is if you find a resort that is a medium-sized resort, meaning about 500 rooms, but you have 100 people attending, what you may find is that their wedding locations for ceremonies and events may not be able to accommodate you. And it's very important you talk to the wedding planner, your travel professional about this. Here's why. Sometimes the resorts will say, well, this location will hold 100, 125 people. Makes sense. But you need to understand what you're using it for. If you're using it for a reception and you need a dance floor, a buffet line, you want 8 people per table, all of a sudden the space that is big for cocktails gets very small for your reception. So it's a reason when you're looking at resorts that not only do you look at the size of the resort, but you need to look at the size of locations for your various events. Now, some benefits if you are a big group of a big resort would be that they're going to have Plan B backup space, which is a ballroom typically, that can accommodate you, God forbid it rains or there's a weather event or anything like that. Some of the smaller resorts just don't have the accessibility with a large Plan B. What they'll say is, well, we'll close a restaurant and we'll put you in there. Well, that sounds great because it's Plan B, but the problem with that idea is there may be booze. It may not be accommodating for you and your guests for dancing and things like that. These are all things of why you want to work with an experienced travel professional and finding that perfect resort. Okay, so from the vacation side of the experience, great things about our big resort. A lot to do, a lot of restaurants, multiple pools. If you have a larger group, you may have people that don't want to sit on a beach, some older people. They may want to sit at a coffee shop or play cards or do things. So I think as you look at the larger resort, there are a lot more amenities than at a smaller resort, especially if your guests are going to be there, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. I would not worry about the number of restaurants, whether it's a big or small resort. And why do I say that? If you think about this, our average destination wedding guests stay 4 or 5 nights. 2 of those nights, you're probably going to obligate people for maybe a welcome party or a reception. So that now leaves people 3 nights to find a restaurant to eat at. Pretty much any quality resort has 3 to 5 restaurants. So it's not as though they're going to get stuck in a small resort just going to the buffet. Some of the bigger resorts, is one of my favorites, the Grand at the Moon Palace, between that and the Moon can have 25 restaurants. And what we hear from people is, oh my gosh, I was only there 5 nights. I couldn't eat at any of the restaurants, or I only ate at 1 or 2 restaurants. So again, the big resort will have a lot more amenities, a lot more pools. If you are a smaller wedding, I'm going to say smaller, anything say from 50 people below, I think that you should look at a medium-sized to small resort. Another reason you don't want to be a smaller group going to a big resort is because I don't know if you're going to get the respect from the wedding team that you deserve. Because they're going to look at you and go, okay, we have these gigantic venues, we do big weddings all the time, but now I have this small wedding. How much money are they really going to spend on wedding extras? I hate to say that, but the wedding planners at the resorts you work with do make money, commission off of the stuff they sell you. So if they don't see this great opportunity, they may be slow in responding, they may be busy with bigger weddings. The other thing I think that if you're a small group at a big resort, let's talk about, I don't know, the Moon Palace, 2,500 rooms, amazing resort in Cancun. But the issue is, if there's only 50 of you or 60 of you, you could be there a week and never see your guests. Now, maybe you want to do that. But I think that when you look at the resort, you really have to look at the benefit of big versus small. But it all goes down to the size of your group to determine what's best for you. And working with an experienced travel professional will do that, because they're going to look at what it is that you have on your list. Check, 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 right? I want a club. I want a golf course. I want a casino. I want these restaurants. I want this pool. I want small pool bars. Well, you may have your list of amenities that you want that you have to do a big resort. But again, I think there are great big resorts and there are great small resorts. The bottom line is you have to find the perfect resort for you for your destination wedding. Hopefully this information is helpful. Please feel free to subscribe to my videos. And I'm Jack with Vacation Ease.